Spurs agree Mamosh loan. Man City to make Enzo Fernandez offer. Savinho announced. And Forest agree Delap deal. All those stories on this show. I want to welcome everybody to Black Maggot Media, the heartbeat of the game. How are you doing and how is everybody? I want to thank everybody who has tuned to this show, to this podcast, and I really salute you. First and foremost, I want to remind you to subscribe, like, share the podcast, and turn on the notification bell in order to receive the stories that we do upload on this podcast. Nottingham Forest have agreed a deal worth £45 million with Chelsea for Liam Delap. Meanwhile, Tottenham have confirmed the £85 million signing of City winger Savinho, and they have agreed a deal for Mamosh on loan. Elsewhere, City are reportedly set to send a formal bid for Enzo Fernandez, while Spurs are still looking at signing Cody Gakpo from Liverpool. All those are stories that I am going to be bringing to you on this podcast. So, let's start with the Aston Villa. There are very many stories that we have here. Jackson race. Aston Villa and Atletico Madrid are locked up in a battle to sign Chelsea star Nicholas Jackson. Sunsport understand that the forward, who is 25 years aged, has agreed personal terms with both clubs and he edges closer to Stamford Bridge exit. Both potential moves first rely on Villa and Atletico selling their main strikers. Oli Watkins is edging closer to Saudi side Al Hilal, while Atletico meanwhile face a battle to keep a want-away star Julian Alvarez, who is determined to join Barcelona. Villa currently lead the race for Jackson due to Watkins' move to Al Hilal being closer than Alvarez's exit. So, meanwhile, Arsenal is looking at signing Julian Alvarez from Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid is looking elsewhere to look for a backup. I think I remember bringing to you a story about Atletico Madrid looking for a replacement for Julian Alvarez, and this is it. The replacement has been identified. That is Nicholas Jackson. But at the same time, Aston Villa are also eyeing this 25-year-old Chelsea player. They are eyeing to sign him, but of course they have to first make a sell. A player known as Oli Watkins, the striker of Aston Villa, is currently linked to Saudi side, that is Al Hilal, and of course they are preparing for a life in the absence of Oli Watkins. They are looking at Oli Watkins. They are looking at Nicholas Jackson as a backup, a replacement for that place of Oli Watkins. So let's wait and see where this story will end up. Also, Adama returns to Spain. Former Premier League speedster Adama Traore is returning to Spain with Deportivo La Coruna. The winger, who is 30 years old, is in Galicia today to finalize the deal and sign on a free transfer. Adama has been unattached since leaving relegated West Ham in June, and the former Spanish international, who last played in La Liga with a boyhood club Barcelona in 2022, became the cult hero in English Premier League for his rapid runs and many dribbles. Yeah, this guy used to dribble and he had pace with a lot of energy, but of course his age has gone. He's now 30 years old. He's being linked to Deportivo in Spain, where he played at first. Of course, at first he was in Barcelona, his boyhood club Barcelona. So that is it about Adama Traore. And the Liverpool flop becomes Vicario understudy. Forgotten ex-Liverpool goalkeeper Kamil Grabara has completed a shock move to Juventus, where he will be Guglielmo Vicario's number 2. Because Liverpool flop, that is Vicario, is going to Juventus, and is understood to be going to Juventus for about 10.3 million pounds. And then Villa and the Mags miss out on Nkunku. Red Bull Leipzig have unveiled a new loan signing, Christopher Nkunku. Aston Villa and Newcastle had been weighing up moves for the ex-Chelsea forward to bolster their attacking options. So Aston Villa and Newcastle wanted this guy, but of course Red Bull Leipzig, RB Leipzig have won the race, but of course he has gone there on loan. Nkunku, who is 28, has returned to former club Red Bull Leipzig after one season at AC Milan. So he joins on an initial season long loan with a £24 million buy option with Leipzig, attractive next summer. So that is it about Christopher Nkunku, former Chelsea player. He has gone to RB Leipzig on loan, however much Aston Villa and Newcastle had interest in him. Then we also have news that Ipswich are on a verge of signing Argentinian World Cup winner Ezequiel Palacios at about £21.4 million, then £4.3 million in add-ons, bonuses, totally summing up to around £25.7 million. We have Mamosh. Mamosh is having a medical at Tottenham today, according to the Telegraph, and the 27-year-old is all set to follow his former Man City seatmate. That is Savinio, to North London in an eye-popping £145 million double deal. Savinio's move has already been announced for a fee potentially rising up to £85 million, while Mamosh will cost around £60 million. So those who are new to this podcast, I remember bringing to you a story about Tottenham how Tottenham raided Man City. We're referring to these two players, that is Savinio and Mamosh is set to do his medicals today. Let's look at Modric, who was in a ban in Chelsea. He had a ban of about 4 years. So Leeds United have been rumored to be interested in Chelsea's returning Ukrainian winger Mikhailo Modric in recent weeks. However, gaffer Daniel Farke seems to be playing down such talks. He said, "There is always noise around this club. You get the feeling agents try to use our name to get others speak about their players. So sometimes we are linked with players I haven't even heard of." That is it about the agents versus the news outlets. So Mikhailo Modric is yet to find a club where to play, because in Chelsea currently I don't think whether he can get the first spot to play. So he's going to act as a backup player. That's why Chelsea are opting for a loan move for this player. So that is it about Mikhailo Modric. He has been away because of a ban. You have not been seeing him because he had a ban. So Villa bid for Mateta. This is another story. Aston Villa have bid for Crystal Palace striker Jean-Philippe Mateta, according to The Athletic. The proposal fell considerably short of Palace's valuation of the player, with the club expecting a much higher offer for the France international in order to sanction his departure. It comes after Ollie Watkins reportedly refused to play in Villa's 4-2 loss to Brighton as he eyes a switch to Saudi Arabia. It also comes following Mateta's dispute with Palace over his contract. Mateta took his case to the Premier League, arguing that the contract, which was extended by a year last December, was not valid. That is it about Mateta being eyed by Villa. So apart from Christopher Nkunku, Aston Villa is also looking at Mateta, Jean-Philippe Mateta, as a replacement for Oli Watkins. Let's wait and see where this story will end. So Chelsea eye Enzo Fernandez replacement. Chelsea are reportedly drawing contingency plans amid Manchester City's interest in Enzo Fernandez. According to TalkSport, the Blues have 4 midfielders on their shortlist should the Argentine leave Stamford Bridge. Among the players they have interest in, we have Eduardo Camavinga, Alex Scott, Adam Wharton, and then Manu Kone, who are all being considered as potential replacement. So Chelsea are looking at a replacement for Enzo Fernandez because they are saying Man City are seriously linked to the player, and the player has agreed personal terms. The player wants to leave, but of course they have to table about 120 million pounds to sign this player, of which the player wants to join his former manager. So let's wait and see where this story will come to end. We have a story from a Mint about Yankuba Minte. Liverpool are pushing to sign Brighton's winger Yankuba Minte before the transfer deadline, and the Reds have already seen bids worth 50 million and 60 million pounds rejected by the Seagulls. Liverpool are considering other options on the right wing if they cannot sign a deal for the 22-year-old. So yesterday, I remember bringing to you a story about this young talent, about Yankuba Minte. Brighton are insisting that they want a bid of about 70 million pounds, but Liverpool seem to be not valuing this player to be worth 70 million pounds. That's why their bids have been rejected. So let's wait and see where this transfer will come to end. And then another one, City remain interested in a blockbuster move for Chelsea's midfielder Enzo Fernandez, and the Blues themselves imposed a deadline for the 120 million pounds deal passed without an offer, although Xabi Alonso refused to rule out the Argentine leaving Stamford Bridge. City have also agreed a deal for the Lille wonder kid Ayoub Wadi, but the Athletic says Fernandes remains on their radar, with Chelsea demanding an acceptable fee and reinforcements before sanctioning an exit. So this story about Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez wants to leave the club, but Chelsea see like Man City are delaying to bring an offer because they want to go in the market. Remember, as a player of such quality to leave the team means Chelsea will have to go back to the market. That's why they are eyeing the players like Camavinga, Scott, Adam Wharton, and then Manu Kone as the backups, as the replacement for Enzo Fernandez. So they have given Man City a deadline for the deal to be passed, and meaning if the deal is not passed with before the deadline, then the player will likely remain at the club. Also, I want to bring some news. I want also to talk about PFA Premier League Team of the Year. Arsenal and Man City dominated the PFA Premier League Team of the Year with 9 players between them, and champions Arsenal boast David Raya, Julian Timber, William Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, and Declan Rice. Those were the representatives from Arsenal. Arsenal fans, you can give it a like, give a video a like to show that you appreciate for the effort that Arsenal put in that season of last year. So David Raya, Jurrien Timber, William Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes and Declan Rice were the representatives of Arsenal for PFA, or you can call it Premier League Team of the Year. So while City stars Nico O'Reilly, Ryan Cherki, Erling Haaland and Anthony Semenyo were also included. Those are the representatives for Man City: O'Reilly, Ryan Cherki, Erling Haaland and Anthony Semenyo. Then Manchester United captain, who was the only Manchester United representative, Bruno Fernandes, is the one who represented Manchester City, and of course he's the one who won the PFA award, Premier League. He's the one who won the PFA award. And Brentford's Igor Thiago is also among those who represented. So that is it about PFA. But we also have a story about Man City eyeing a winger who is called Alan Elias. Man City have agreed a deal worth 34.2 million to sign Palmeiras winger Alan Elias, and City are set to pay 32 million pounds plus 2.2 million pounds in add-ons for the Brazilian, who is aged 22 years, who is expected to replace Tottenham bound Savinho. And Amedico is due in the coming days, while Spurs are also in advanced talks to sign Omar Mamosh before Monday's deadline, which is already done. So Chelsea started to Strasbourg. Chelsea is one of the teams that has made good business in this summer. Chelsea, Man City, they have made good business in this summer. They have sold over 5 players each per team. So Strasbourg have completed the permanent signing of Chelsea youngster Omari Kelman. The 20-year-old becomes the 20th transfer between the two blue co-owned clubs. These two clubs, Strasbourg and Chelsea, are owned by one person. They have one owner, have the same ownership. So the 20-year-old has crossed from Chelsea to Strasbourg. Then Liverpool star Calvin Ramsey has joined St Mirren on a season-long loan as he looks to rebuild his career. I'll not talk much about that. What else? Aston Villa are set to snap up former Bayern Munich star Leon Goretzka on a free transfer. Leon Goretzka is likely to cross to Aston Villa on a free transfer, and according to Sky Germany, the 31-year-old has passed his medical after Unai Emery's personally calling the midfielder to convince him to make a move to the Villa Park. Remember, Aston Villa sold a player known as this player whom Arsenal wanted to sign, then Chelsea hijacked. The name has just disappeared, but is an English international. So I think Aston Villa are looking for a replacement for that player. So Goretzka left Bayern at the end of last season after 312 appearances and 7 Bundesliga titles, as well as lifting the Champions League. Delap to Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest have agreed £50 million for Delap, for Liam Delap, and Sun Sports Jack Rosa breaks down the whole deal as a striker makes his way to the Midlands. So Delap, who became a flop at Chelsea, he has now crossed to is set to cross to Nottingham Forest if the deal is successful. And then elsewhere, Crystal Palace have rejected Aston Villa's bid for a want-away Jean-Philippe Mateta, and the French, who is 21 years old, wanted wanted out of the Selhurst Park since January, when a £30 million move to AC Milan collapsed due to knee injury picked up in a medical. So this news has just appeared, but we have received the news that Crystal Palace have rejected a bid for Aston Villa for Jean-Philippe Mateta. So maybe they will go in for Nicholas Jackson, because all they want is to replace a striker who is set to cross to Al Hilal, Saudi side, together with Martinelli. Brentford are closing in a deal to sign West Ham's El Hadji Malik Diop, and the Bees have already seen a 35 million bids for the left back rejected, with the championship club holding out for 40. So Brentford wants to buy this player El Hadji Malik Diop, but West Ham need £40 million, and yet Brentford tabled a bid of about £35 million. So let's wait and see where this story will come to end. So I want to thank everybody who has been watching us, who has sacrificed the time to listen to Black Maggot Media, listen to Black Maggot, the heartbeat of the game. I really salute you and I thank you so much. And I remind you that if you are appearing here for the first time, please subscribe to this podcast in order to receive the stories that we do put here on a daily. We do upload daily sports updates on Black Maggot Media. We shall always make sure that we don't disappoint you. We bring stories that you want to know about. You can drop your comment, your question, your supplements, your ideas in the comment section area, in order to make this podcast grow. And what I remind you is, every like pushes this video or the podcast to other viewers. So in order to support this podcast, just put your like. Thank you so much. Till next time, goodbye. We meet in the next episode.